From roller coaster interchanges to highways that defy logic, these roads are not for the faint of heart. Roundabouts within roundabouts, convoluted intersections, and spiraling causeways. Join me for today's video. We are going to explore 15 of the most complex roads in the world. Number 15. Hongjueyuan Interchange, Chongqing, China. At first glance, the Hongjueyuan Interchange is probably a new driver's worst nightmare. But this remarkable interchange is an iconic landmark that connects multiple highways and facilitates seamless traffic flow. This interchange boasts a complex network of elevated roads and ramps and spans an area of more than 6 miles, making it one of the largest interchanges in China. It links the Chengdu-Chongqing Expressway, the Chongqing Inner Ring Expressway, as well as several other major roads. The interchange has an intricate design, complete with multiple levels, so it's able to alleviate congestion and reduce travel time, but efficiently manage the flow of vehicles. But it wasn't just built for practicality purposes, it was also designed with an aesthetic appeal in mind. It's got a number of captivating architectural features, most notably its ability to light up at night, and for this reason it's a popular spot for tourists to snap a pic. And although it looks like a complex web of confusing roads, this interchange has significantly enhanced the flow of traffic in Chongqing. So, this interchange stands as a symbol of China's rapid urban development and the country's commitment to constructing modern transportation networks that provide better accessibility to its people. Number 14. Judge Harry Pregerson Interchange, Los Angeles. A city the size of LA is bound to have some pretty complex roads, but when it comes to the most complex, well, that award goes to the Judge Harry Pregerson Interchange. This La La Land interchange has been called an engineering marvel that showcases the complexity and innovation of modern transportation infrastructure. Those are some pretty big bragging rights, but this interchange serves as a crucial hub for traffic in the busy city, and it connects multiple important freeways. With numerous elevated ramps, bridges, and lanes, this labyrinth of an interchange can effectively handle a nearly constant stream of vehicles. In fact, thousands use it each and every day, since it's situated at the convergence of several major highways, including the Interstate 110 and Interstate 105. Navigationally, though, because the Judge Harry Pregerson interchange is so complex, it can present a bit of a challenge for drivers. There's a lot of signage and clear lane markings, but it takes a lot of focus to traverse this thing successfully. For tourists who are unfamiliar with the interchange, it's probably a little daunting. But for those who are familiar with it and use it often, it's an appreciated part of LA's ever-growing transportation infrastructure. Number 13. Spaghetti Junction, Birmingham. The Spaghetti Junction in Birmingham in the UK has been called a transportation phenomenon, well, mostly because of its bewildering complexity. The junction is an interchange that has challenged even the most experienced of drivers for decades. It's comprised of a network of roads, ramps, and bridges, and navigating through this mess of a junction is not for the faint of heart. It's named after spaghetti because of the mess of overlapping roads that resemble a plate of tangled spaghetti. There are multiple levels and a plethora of signposts, and the sheer size of this complex thing adds to the confusion. The junction spans a significant area, connecting several motorways, including the M6, the M5, and the A38. There's a multitude of possible routes, and drivers often express feelings of frustration and disorientation when trying to work their way through this thing. To successfully navigate Spaghetti Junction, drivers must be able to think and act quickly. Exits have limited visibility, so drivers are required to negotiate multiple merges, often with little time to do so. This results in a lot of last-minute lane changes and missed exits, adding to the frustration. In fact, Spaghetti Junction has gained some infamy as one of the most confusing road systems in the UK. Wrong turns, unexpected detours, lost drivers, the junction is ripe with confused motorists. As such, efforts have been made to improve the signage and to provide clearer navigational aids within the junction. However, even with these improvements, the sheer complexity of the junction is a challenge, even with the help of the most advanced GPS system and navigation apps. Number 12. Magic Roundabout, Swindon, England. There really isn't anything magical about the magical roundabout in Swindon in the UK, unless you consider trying to work your way through a ridiculously confusing road a feat of magic. This magic roundabout has a really unconventional design, and this complex road presents a pretty significant challenge for drivers. Basically, there are 5 mini roundabouts that encircle a central hub. Now, it was designed to be innovative, but the end result lands a little more towards perplexity than innovation. This bizarre roundabout has a cluster of smaller roundabouts that all encircle a central point, but visually the road looks like a puzzle. Drivers are often unsure of where they're supposed to go, especially since there are 5 entry points that all converge at the central hub. To navigate this roundabout, drivers have to choose the correct exit, and they have to do so amidst a flurry of merging vehicles. There are also dedicated pedestrian crossings and some footpaths. Needless to say, the bizarre design of this roundabout has gained some pretty hefty notoriety over the years. It's become a famous landmark in Swindon, and it's even appeared in several movies and TV shows over the years. Perhaps successfully navigating through this perplexing roundabout is a feat of magic after all. Number 11. Judge Lewis Nixon Memorial Interchange, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Philadelphia, PA is a vibrant city, but within its transportation hub there's a complex road which has intrigued and confused motorists for years. The Judge Lewis Nixon Memorial is an interchange with multiple levels and highly confusing crisscrossing roads. To get through this thing, drivers have to anticipate their routes, otherwise they'll find themselves forced to make some pretty quick decisions. The interchange is a vital junction in Philadelphia, as it sits at the intersection of some pretty well-traveled highways, including I-95 and Interstate 676. There are multiple lanes and exits throughout this thing, and because the junction receives such a high volume of daily traffic, drivers who are unfamiliar with the road can get confused and overwhelmed pretty quickly. It's no secret that this interchange is pretty complex, and there have been efforts over the years to make this thing easier for drivers to traverse. Upgrades to streamline traffic flow, to provide clear lane markings, to improve the signage, and to enhance navigational aids all have been undertaken over the years. And while these improvements have eased the confusion a little bit, they haven't eliminated it. So, the Judge Lewis Nixon Memorial Interchange remains an essential and heavily traveled route for both Philadelphians and tourists alike. Number 10. Tom Moreland Interchange, Atlanta, Georgia. The Tom Moreland Interchange in Atlanta is a mesmerizing tapestry of bridges, ramps, and lanes from an aerial view, but for those who are actually on the interchange, well, it's a bit of a nightmare. The interchange is at the convergence of several major interstates, including the I-285 and I-85. Now, from a distance, this thing is mesmerizing as cars continually stream through the myriad of elevated ramps and interconnecting roads. But for those who are inexperienced in urban navigation, trying to get through this thing could easily be a white-knuckle experience. The interchange is one of the largest in the U.S., spanning over 350 acres. More than 300,000 vehicles pass through this interchange daily, so even during its slower times, it's anything but slow. And while it is an important piece of infrastructure for motorists, it also plays an important role in supporting the local Atlanta economy. It's got crucial connections to some really major industrial and commercial areas, such as the Doraville Assembly Plant, so it facilitates the movement of goods in and out of the region. This is one of the most recognizable landmarks in Atlanta, with its sprawling network of roadways and ramps. Visually striking from a distance, the Tom Moreland Interchange is an essential part of Atlanta's infrastructure, even if it is a bit of a doozy to navigate. Number 9. Cloveleaf Interchange, Tokyo, Japan. Tokyo is a busy city yet, to put it mildly, so you better believe that it has some pretty impressive infrastructure to just move all those people. But where some infrastructure is innovative and awe-inspiring, some is just downright confusing. The Cloveleaf Interchange connects multiple highways and was built to accommodate an ever-increasing number of vehicles. It's known for its intricacy, its meticulous engineering, and for its innovative design. Visually, it's pretty captivating, with its ramps, flyovers, and intricate layering. This interchange spans multiple levels too, with roads and ramps that intertwine both vertically and horizontally, and although it appears very complex, it's highly efficient. Getting through the interchange though, because there are so many ramps, roads, and exits, requires a high level of focus and attention. It's pretty easy to miss an exit, and we all know how hard it can be to get back on track once that happens. In any case, because the interchange is so essential, it's undergone continuous expansion. The city of Tokyo continues to grow, and as it does, its transportation needs grow as well. So this interchange continues to change to better suit the needs of Tokyo's transportation system. It's also known for its advanced technology. It incorporates boast-worthy technological features that all help to optimize traffic management and minimize driver confusion. For example, the interchange has intelligent traffic control systems, real-time monitoring, and adaptive signaling. This kind of technology ensures that the interchange is functioning at its best so that motorists can get through it in the most efficient way. So, as such, the Cloveleaf Interchange is a pretty remarkable feat of engineering, and it showcases Tokyo's commitment to building efficient transportation. Number 8. The Marques de Pombal Square, Lisbon, Portugal. Now, sometimes urban planning speaks to the inventive and logical side of transportation. Other times, not so much. The latter is the case with the Marques de Pombal Square. This complex road is located in Lisbon, Portugal, and this bizarre feat of urban planning has left many a traveler scratching their heads. The square is comprised of an intricate road network with a myriad of intersecting avenues. It's got an unconventional circular layout and a reputation for leaving a lasting, albeit confusing, impression on anyone who tries to travel it. The problem is that unlike traditional city squares, this one follows a circular design, which is very unconventional. Because people are so well attuned to city squares, this circular nature challenges our familiar sense of direction. Also, the fact that it's a circle called a square compounds the problem even further. The square is actually pretty major, so the traffic is pretty heavy, but the multitude of entrances and exits, further exacerbated by multiple pedestrian crossings, makes this square a mess to navigate. And the square is surrounded by some prominent landmarks too, such as the Eduardo VII Park and the iconic statue of the Marquis of Pombal. These landmarks are lovely to look at on foot, but they often act as a distraction for drivers who are already overwhelmed by the circular square's complexity. Buses, trams, and cars all use this thing, which mean that the dynamics of the traffic is always changing. As such, this square is an unusual road that's a testament to the age-old saying, you simply can't put a square peg in a round hole. Number 7. Avenida 9 de Julio, Buenos Aires, Argentina. Behold the Avenida 9 de Julio, one of the widest avenues in the world. And it turns out, with great width comes great complexity in the world of roads. It's located in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and it's an iconic thoroughfare that demands skill and concentration to navigate. Stretching out over 460 feet wide, this avenue has multiple lanes in each direction. It also intersects with a lot of streets, which creates a network of confusing intersections. So drivers must be on high alert at all times to navigate them, while at the same time paying attention to the movement of other vehicles coming in from all directions. The boulevard's also adorned with lovely landmarks too, such as the Obelisco de Buenos Aires, and although these monuments add aesthetic appeal to the boulevard itself, they're also a hazard as they obstruct visibility in places. It also accommodates multiple modes of public transportation too, like the city's metro systems and buses, adding another layer of complexity. Drivers must be aware of buses making sudden stops at designated bus stops, as well as pedestrians getting off those buses and getting on. All in, the Avenida 9 de Julio is a very wide, very complex road with dense intersections, heavy traffic flow, huge obstacles, public transport, and a ton of pedestrians. Number 6. Taganskaya Square, Moscow, Russia. If precise maneuvering, perfect merging, and spot-on lane selection isn't your thing, then you might want to steer clear, pun intended, of Taganskaya Square. The square is located in Moscow in Russia and serves as a convergence point for a lot of significant roads. The Garden Ring, Varshavskoy Highway, and Taganskaya Street all converge at the square, creating a confusing road that requires precision and attention to get through. The square itself is a significant place in Moscow's history. In fact, the square has been a central hub since the 16th century. The square's witnessed some very important historical events, including political demonstrations and celebrations, so there are several notable landmarks at the square. The Tangaka Theater and the Church of St. Nicholas, for example, can both be found here. The square is also home to a vibrant market called the Taganka Flea Market. This open-air market offers a wide variety of books, artworks, antiques, and vintage items. All of these things combined make the square a very busy place. In fact, the square is a major transportation hub and hosts one of Moscow's busiest metro stations. The station serves 3 metro lines and is an essential way to connect with different parts of the city. But the complex layout of the square combined with the heavy flow of traffic makes driving here really challenging. It's known for its traffic congestion, since it's a popular spot and attracts a high volume of people. Bottlenecks are common in the square, and drivers have to be extra careful to watch out for the pedestrians who frequent it, as well as public transportation that's all around too. Number 5. Mixcoac Interchange, Mexico City. Now, Mexico is a bustling metropolis and a vibrant tourist destination, but for anyone looking to cross Mexico City off their bucket list, you might want to consider public transportation. Why? Because you probably don't want to find yourself trying to drive through the Mixcoac Interchange. This interchange has an incredibly convoluted layout with multiple levels and really heavy traffic. The interweaving highways include some really busy ones, like the Penerifico, Insurgentes, and Viaducto. Furthermore, the interchange can be really confusing because there's a real lack of clear signage and road markings, so for those who aren't familiar with the interchange, the experience can be a little bewildering to say the least. In fact, there are parts of the interchange where clear lane guidance is completely missing, so making lane changes pretty challenging. It's very close to a lot of Mexico City's economic hubs, so it acts as a gateway to the commercial centers, industrial zones, and business districts. This adds to the heavy volume of traffic. And while it may look daunting during the day, it's at night that it's a whole different story. This interchange boasts an impressive nighttime illumination system, whereby the ramps and roadways are speckled with vibrant lighting. During the evening, this interchange is truly a sight to behold, casting an aesthetic glow that adds to the city's stunning nightscape. Number 4. The Springfield Interchange, Virginia. The Springfield Interchange, also known as the Mixing Bowl, is a complex transportation maze that brings together several different highways. Interstate 95, 395, and 495 all converge here to make a tangle of ramps, lane configurations, and confusing merges. In fact, this mixing bowl is made up of so many roads that it's got a reputation as being one of the most confusing interchanges in the United States. It's marked by crisscrossing ramps and flyovers, as well as multiple levels of roadway. When trying to navigate this thing, it's essential that drivers stay in the correct lanes for the exits they want. Otherwise, it can be really difficult to merge over. This is because the interchange sees a ridiculously heavy volume of traffic every day. It's estimated that it has about 430,000 vehicles pass through it every single day, which makes it one of the busiest interchanges in the U.S. It's no stranger to traffic congestion, too. So from 1999 to 2007, it underwent a massive reconstruction project. It was aimed at improving traffic flow and alleviating those bottlenecks. The project, called the Springfield Interchange Improvement Project, was massive. During this project, more than 50 bridges were rebuilt and 68 new lanes were constructed. It was engineering on a huge scale. One of the ways the interchange tries to reduce congestion is with an innovative ramp metering system. This system uses traffic signals on entrance ramps to regulate the rate at which vehicles can enter the highway, which then supposedly optimizes the overall traffic movement. It's also equipped with dynamic message signs, which are electronic signs that display real-time traffic info. Drivers can access info about the lane closures, travel times, and any important alerts so they can find alternative routes. It's not the only interchange to have a dynamic message system, but the addition of them greatly helps with driver ease when traversing this complex and busy interchange. Furthermore, the Virginia Department of Transportation, or VDOT, offers commuter benefits program to incentivize both ride-sharing and other commuting options. This is another way to help alleviate congestion on the interchange. This program offers rewards and discounts for people who carpool and/or use public transportation. Number 3. Arc de Triomphe, Paris. Paris, the city of light, the city of love, laden with and adored for its many iconic landmarks. The Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, and of course the Arc de Triomphe. Standing proud at the heart of Paris, it's an undeniable monument of historical significance and grandeur. However, it seems like this monument is best explored on foot, since the roads that surround it are notoriously complex. The monument's surrounded by a massive roundabout that can only be described as a circle of chaos. There are 12 avenues that converge at its center. A constant stream of traffic and the sheer volume of lanes is bad enough, but the real problem is with the right-of-way. In conventional roundabouts, cars that are already in the roundabout have the right-of-way, and cars entering must yield. However, the Arc de Triomphe roundabout defies that convention. Cars entering the circle have the right-of-way, and those within it must yield. To most drivers, this is a painfully confusing concept and one that constantly disrupts the flow of traffic. Furthermore, there really aren't any clear lane markings, and several roads branch off in different directions, so it can be next to impossible to confidently know where you're going. In fact, according to some sources, traversing the roundabout takes instinct and a bit of luck. And of course, since the monument is so iconic, there's a steady stream of pedestrians who fearlessly cross the street whenever they want. So vehicles must not only watch out for other vehicles, but also weave their way around people on foot. This all combines to create the perfect storm, and this roundabout is notorious for traffic jams, complete with a symphony of honking horns. Number 2. Nanpu Bridge Interchange, Shanghai. One look at the complex Nanpu Bridge Interchange and you can clearly see why it made this list. The Interchange is a circular spiral ramp, and it's this unique architecture that caught the eye of transportation and infrastructure engineers from around the world. Because the Interchange ascends and descends in a spiral motion, it provides a seamless transition between different levels of the Interchange. And because it spirals upwards so high, it offers some pretty spectacular views of the iconic skyline. From the Interchange, drivers can take in breathtaking vistas of the Bund, the Nanpu River, and the financial district, as well as other numerous landmarks of the city. It's close to the Nanpu Bridge, hence its name, and as such, it's a vital hub. It links central areas of Shanghai with the Pudongnu area, allowing for people to travel in and out of the city efficiently. The Interchange is often referred to as an engineering marvel, given its innovative design and advanced construction techniques. Because the ramps and elevated roads are so complex, a lot of time and energy went into ensuring that this interchange would be safe and stable. Furthermore, because the interchange serves such a dense population, it was designed to handle a massive amount of traffic. Tens of thousands of vehicles traverse this thing every day, and even though the interchange is never really dormant, it's able to handle this volume of traffic. That isn't to say that going across this thing isn't easy, though. Drivers can have a hard time on the interchange. There's lack of clear signage in areas, and the road system is pretty complex. But aside from the complex design, it has an entirely different slant. It holds cultural significance. It represents Shanghai's transformation into a modern metropolis and symbolizes the city's progress and growth on a global scale. Therefore, the interchange just isn't a busy road, it's a tourist attraction. Tourists hop on it to enjoy the views and visit it to take pics of this stunning architecture. Number 1. Leh Manali Highway, India. Leh Manali Highway in India is widely regarded as the most complex road highway in the world, which is why it's earned the top spot on this list. Its treacherous route that weaves and winds its way over the majestic Himalayas. Traveling this road will test the nerves of even the most seasoned driver. The highway spans over 298 miles and reaches some pretty high altitudes, like 17,400 feet high. The road is snake-like and passes by steep cliffs. It's riddled with narrow passages and hairpin bends, so driving it takes every ounce of concentration. Furthermore, the road is prone to unpredictable weather conditions like heavy snowfall, blizzards, and freezing temperatures. This, coupled with avalanches and landslides, mean that drivers should be prepared and equipped for any number of potential pitfalls. The highway also passes through some very remote areas where creature comforts are few and far between, so travelers are advised to fuel up when they can and pack food just in case. But along with the potential perils of this complex road, there are also some pretty extraordinary experiences to be had along the way. Traditional villages, ancient monasteries, breathtaking views, and historical landmarks can all be found along the highway. Needless to say, the complexity of this road is in its engineering. The rough terrain posed a huge problem for engineers, as the highway passes through steep gradients, narrow stretches, and rocky terrain. They also had to contend with unpredictable weather, as well as low oxygen levels because of the altitude. And because sections are so remote, it was often hard to get to the supplies they need. All in, it took 26 years to complete the Leh Manali Highway, which is why it's considered one of, if not the most complex road in the world. But for those with an adventurous spirit, the highway represents a road less traveled by, and an unparalleled adventure through the pristine beauty of the iconic Himalayas. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you to our channel members.